as Bill Landis just noted, we are in the football building making basketball predictions, but that's how it goes. We are here to break down in excruciating detail the 2017-18 Ohio State basketball season. We're going to go game by game, nay, half by half. Each game, so there's 31 regular season games. This will be a 62-part breakdown of the season. Or you could just give a record prediction and we can get out of here.
I'll do the second one.
Okay. We're going to adjust on the fly. Bill Landis, what will Ohio State's record be this season in basketball?
So I have 18-13, and I have, let me do my math, 8-10 in the Big Ten, which is one game better overall than they were last year. I don't think this team is much different from a talent standpoint. You lost Mark Loving, you lost Trevor Thompson, you lost Jaquan Lyle. I think those three guys, in a lot of ways, brought the team down last year.
I'll say it. Yeah. You're a fine fellow.
Yeah.
Addition by subtraction. Continue.
Addition by subtraction. Now you replace them with freshmen and like Andrew Dockich, who's a graduate transfer, former walk-on at guard. So your roster is thinner. The margin for error in terms of injury is basically none. If someone gets hurt, the season's over. But I think this will be a better coach team, and that's not because I think Thad Matta was a bad coach. It's because I think he had bad assistants, and Ohio State has better assistant coaches. I think the individual skill development will be better over the course of the season. The schedule's much tougher. They got to play in that PK80 thing out in Oregon. They got to play Gonzaga, and they'll play Stanford or Florida, and then they might play Butler. That's three pretty meaty non-conference games being added that they didn't have last year. So it's a tougher schedule. It's a younger team. I think it's a better coach team, and I don't think they're going to make the boneheaded mistakes they made last year that cost them games. So I'm picking them to be one game better.
The big thing, I think, and obviously you're going to write about this, and everybody knows this, but Keita Bates-Diop getting hurt last season was a huge thing. Like, if you take Keita Bates-Diop off this team, you'd have some trouble again. He's probably your most skilled guy in terms of who's the guy that could go off for 25 in a night. That's the guy. So him back healthy is a game changer here. Clearly, there might be some point guard issues. C.J. Jackson has to carry the load, but behind him. So what was their record last year?
17-14, and they were 7-11 in the Big Ten.
Okay, I'll say 17-14. But I think there's right. It's not just about your record. If they have around the same record, I think they could have around the same record, but give fans more hope with the same kind of record.
Yeah, I think ultimately the record is less important than what the team looks like. I think one of the bigger frustrations with fans over the last few years is you had an Ohio State basketball team that looked like it didn't care on some nights, that was really lethargic against bad teams, and kind of every now and then would show up against a good one and pull a win out that you didn't expect, but then they would lose to Texas Arlington. I think you want to see games like the Texas Arlington loss go out the window, and I think you will.
And the one thing is they almost won a bunch of games. They almost beat Purdue. They had some games last year where they had good teams on the ropes and then blew them. That would definitely help Chris Holtmann in year one if they could get one of those, right? You think in your mix, I mean, you look at 31 games and think they win these, they lose these, and there's always surprises, right? Yeah. Do you think they sneak up on somebody and get one of those wins this year?
I do. They have opportunities for it. They play Gonzaga, like I said. Florida will be a ranked team if they get to play them in the PK80. They get North Carolina in the CBS Sports Classic in New Orleans. We saw them pull an upset against Kentucky in that event a couple years ago. I think that's on the table. And then, they beat Michigan State last year. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Then there's always chances in the Big Ten. Big Ten gets weird late in the season. So I think they might pull a couple. They might lose one to, I don't know, Rutgers, that you can't believe I lost that game, but I do think they're going to pull one or two out that surprise you.
All right. Ohio State basketball starting on Friday night. He's Bill Landis. He'll be carrying most of the load on this, but Tim and I will check in from time to time. So there's still football, just in case you didn't know. The football team still is going to continue its season despite the Iowa loss, but basketball's getting started too. He's Bill. I'm Doug. Thanks for watching at cleveland.com.